Recording
Okay,
activated.
good morning everyone, and I hope everybody had a good Christmas break, New Year. Everyone is safe and looking forward to the new year. So today is January 19th, 6:08 p.m., and I would like to call the meeting in order. With that, do we have anybody new in? I can't seem to see my participant list.
It
It's
looks like a little
probably
person in the bottom right corner of your screen, but I don't really see anyone new other than I don't know who this guy Carl Lee is, or Carl Key.
yeah. Carl
Very
Key.
funny.
Well, welcome, Carl, and good to see you. So we have
Happy New Year.
yeah. Do we have can we do a roll call, Ian? So we have Carl, Paul.
We have, well, someone just dropped out. We have Carl, Chad Morning, Daniel, Dr. Nasser, Howard, Kavitha, and Paul, along with Helen and myself.
All right, good. Welcome, everyone. So I think we're gonna, just like as Howard mentioned, we'll go through the minutes from December 18 meeting, and then anybody who has a comment, I think I sent my comment to Howard, and Paul did his edits. So we'll go through the minutes and then kind of skim through it if you have any correction. Otherwise, we will update the minutes as corrected with Paul's red correction, and mine has a yellow correction. So let me pull the minutes. Everybody can see the minutes. And we need to get a new header, Ian, because that's still pretty old. We got a new logo, and also our ribbon there. It's new.
Yeah, you should probably send that to your niece, because I think she did a really good job.
Yeah.
For the
So
100-year thing.
we still need to work on getting probably what we can do about trademarking our new logo. Okay, so I'm going through the minutes, and then raise your hand or make a comments if there's any changes. So we have our attendee. We did have to make a change there. Richard Slewinski is not a guest. He's a member. I still need to put his member in there, as well as Brian. There's some correction on Ian's last name, and undergraduate, and Dr. Berger put changes on his red. Is Dr. Berger?
Helen, just a quick comment. I looked Richard's name up. I didn't find him in the membership list. So if he's a member, I didn't find him.
Okay, he did. Remember, Ian, you helped him get his membership?
Yeah, I had actually helped him set it up, so he does have one. We'll just have to look it up in the database again.
Okay. Yeah, but he did it in December. We had 3 Metler Toledo recruit in December. So Richard Slewinski, Peter Mercandanti, and then Ratna Malabans. So those are 3 good people that we can pull to volunteer in a lot of our activities. So I will double check the OU analytics again, Howard, when after our meeting. Okay, so I will move down. Like I said, make comments or raise your hand if you have any corrections. Otherwise, we will just scroll down. Chair's report. I did made a few comments. I did discuss. Well, we can talk about that later on. We just go through the minutes. Okay, professional society. Dr. Berger had his comments there. Solid state and the same, just a typo on Ian's last name. Okay, and also for the young professional, it wasn't Kavita, it was Peter. That's the new volunteer. Women in engineering is just a typo with Carol Carey. Student branch, we did not get any input. So the rest of these are the budget that Daniel sends out every month, and also the September minutes with the correction. So with
Chad
that,
Morning has a hand raised.
okay, Chad,
Yeah, where you changed it to Peter's name, I think there was a she afterward that probably needs changed to he.
young professional.
Yeah, maybe
Chad.
after Peter Mercandanti, it says maybe she could.
Oh, okay. I will change that to, I missed that, so I will just,
Helen, I did not see anything about the women in engineering. Sorry, the Y thing. You did, we did that event in November, right? The whatever.
no, we did that in, I believe we did that in
October.
October. October is the IEEE day. So that's when we had the event at the mechanical pin. It was, yes.
Okay. I wanted to clarify something about why. Do you want me to ask the question now or maybe later once you finish all the document?
You can ask the question anytime.
Okay. So the thing is, why last year I think you told me that I am the co-chair of the Y because that was my what do you call my
No,
primary interest, right?
yes. So it's women in engineering is you're the vice chair.
Okay. So, and I also wanted to check this year we have International Women's Day is in March. That month, the whole month is celebrated like the Women's Month, right? March. So, do you have any plans for that? Because every other organization I am part of, they are having some event or the other, and I'm participating online. Some I'm going to the place and participating on
Yeah,
site.
we can discuss that when we get into the society. Right now we were reviewing the minutes.
Okay, sounds fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any other questions on the minutes? Chad, that's all? Do you had comments?
I mean, that was my only real comment. I mean, the last sentence is kind of, I don't know if you want to put quotes around what I said or something, because of the and me part, it doesn't read very formal in the way it's written. So, but it's fine.
Okay, I'll put a quote in it if that's okay. All right. Okay. Any other comments, corrections? Okay, if there's no other comments or corrections, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the December 18 minutes as edited in yellow and red.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so Chad,
Nasher
you make,
motioned.
oh, okay, Dr. Cashew, okay,
Yeah. And then Paul second.
okay. Okay, so the December 18, 2022 minutes is approved. And everyone, oh, sorry, I have to ask everyone who agrees, say aye.
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 Okay, so motion
Aye.
carried, approve the December 18 minutes. Okay, thank you everyone. And then, like I said, I would like to focus this meeting on, since it's January, so it's budget time. So we need to get our budget approved by, I believe, no later than the 15th of February. So I would like to spend some time on that. But first thing is that our sponsorship for the e-week, and I have a meeting with the committee, the planning committee. Unfortunately, they're a little bit behind in getting the website, registration website. So it's not up yet, the registration, but we did pledge to keep our silver sponsorship. So Daniel, I need to send you the address to send the $250 sponsorship. Which we need to vote today. That's just a heads up as part of our 2023 budget. So with that, I guess I'll turn it over to you, Daniel, and we can work on the budget. And if we have some extra time, just also make sure your societies or your section, please make sure that you update your officers. I know I made a boo-boo in December when I updated our sections officer after the election. I didn't change the date on Dr. Berger and myself, so it got kind of flagged like vacant. I corrected that, and it's okay now. I think Paul verified that yesterday. So make sure you update your officers, and any events that you can still report events in 2022. That's still okay. So just kind of, I think you have maybe a month or two to report it. Okay, that's all I have. And then I think Daniel, I'll give you the, you can share on the financial reporting, and we can work on the budget.
Okay, can you all hear me?
I'll stop sharing.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I apologize in advance if you all hear some noise in the background. I'm at a Chick-fil-A. I didn't make it all the way home before this call. Meetings at work ran a little late, but let me share my screen. Okay, so I should be sharing. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So I tried to put stuff together to make it as easy as we can to kind of jump through the budget for, I guess, one for understanding where we ended 2022 with, and then also what we're proposing in 2023. I do want to remind everyone that we want to create a zero base budget. So we don't want to plan for more expenses than we have revenue coming in. We obviously do have a good chunk of funding sitting in our account. We can go over that as well. But yeah, so anyways, I took a stab at it. So column J here is our proposed 2023 budget. Column G is what we have in 2022, or what we had in 2022. So you can kind of see the differences here. Column K here is how we ended 2022. So the amount that we ended in our IEEE Columbus bank account. And then here is what I am proposing for 2023. So just jumping through it, so jumping through our proposed budget. So we're assuming, or expecting about 1,500 in corporate donations. This is the same that we had in foundation. They came through as corporate donations from AEP, so I just switched locations for those. And I guess as I'm talking, if there's questions, feel free to ask. It's probably easier to do it as we go versus at the end.
Yeah. Let me ask Howard. Howard, when we did the AEP gave us an award, are we supposed to submit another request this year, or that's going to be?
Yeah, we have to submit another one this year.
Okay. When do we start that?
I have not seen anything or talked to anybody, but my guess is we should be working on it now.
Okay. All right. Good. And that's Dan through Dan Recker, or there's a new person that we did last year?
No, well, we didn't work actually through Dan. The gal that took over, I can't think of her name right now. I've got her email. I was going to check and see. I asked her if we had anything we had to do, and her comment was that it would be done. We would be doing it this year. So
Okay.
I think they have a period up to like June to have it completed. And then if you don't have it, then you have to wait till November to do it again. And then you get it towards the end of the year. Best bet is to start it and start working on it now. And that would be the AEP Foundation grant. If
Okay.
it's out, not grant, AEP Foundation. That's the one that's complicated more than, it's a little
The
harder than
grant.
the grant.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
have.
It took us a while to do it. So, but it's okay. You know, we just have to take our time. 1500 is still good. So we want to make sure we will do our early work on that one. Okay.
Helen, do you have a copy of we did last year?
Yes.
Actual report that we submitted?
Mm-hmm.
I think we kept a copy. We had one. We got one, or somehow that it showed what we did, and because a lot of that'll be generally the same.
Yes.
A
Okay.
lot of, okay. I just suggesting that.
Okay.
that
So
we,
we'll keep that as a income for 2023, right, Daniel?
oh yes, yeah.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
think it's still good.
And who's
We
taking
can
the
always
lead on
try
that?
to ask for more.
Yeah. What did you say, Daniel?
I said, who's taking the lead on filing? Forward?
I will work with Howard on that again, and then if we need help, then we'll find some volunteer to help us.
Okay. And do we have like is there a certain deadline for AEP that they need to buy?
Well, that's what Howard said is June.
June. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check on that and make sure. But I think one of the things that Daniel is that we used your financial budget that you showed expenses and income and everything, so you balanced for the whole
Yeah.
year
Mm-hmm.
or the previous time when we did it. So that we need to do that again this time. Whenever you balance everything out and you had that, we show income and expenses for the whole year.
Sure.
And that worked. I mean, we were able, I wasn't sure, but
Yeah.
it worked.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll just send that to you at some point here in the next week or so, and then we'll just track it.
Okay.
Cool. And then our rebate. So just moving on to nothing for individual donations, nothing for foundation donations, nothing planned for meetings and income, nothing for MakerX. We're anticipating another 7,500 from national. I think we're a little under 7,500 this year. Oh wait, sorry, a little over. So we're 7,600. So I think 7,500 is a good estimate for this coming year as well. Not proposing anything from PACE, receiving revenue from PACE. Is that accurate?
Well, I have a question. Maybe we're not funding for PACE specifically, but we don't have legislative day called out, I think, as a special thing. Maybe we do. I can't
It's
remember.
down here. So
It's
never
down in
mind,
the
that's
bottom.
fine.
Yeah.
yeah, that's an expense.
So
So we're going over income, like revenue that we're going to receive first, and then we'll go over our expenses. And
yeah,
what's allocated for each.
last year, Howard, I did say that we're gonna get the $500 support from PACE. That's through IEEE USA, but I failed to get the grant. You know, with Ben being out, I couldn't submit it myself because I need I needed Ben's signature for it. But I think this year Ben is up and going, and we've been having conversations. So I want to make sure we get some money from PACE, especially to help out with Legislative Day. So I think it's okay to leave that as 500.
Well, I agree with that. You should.
Yeah, that's the minimum that we can get up to July. And after July, whatever money left in our region, which is Region 2 has 20 section. So they have $10,000 allocated. That's why it's $500 minimum. And if you request $500, then you don't have to get a signature or approval from the director. And Joe Kolosky, the treasurer, should be able to dispense the $500. That's the reason why I asked for $500. But after July of the year, we can always ask for more for whatever money is left over.
Okay, so we'll keep 500 here.
Yes.
Moving on for interest, I think we finished a little bit above 300. Yeah, 304 in 2022 for interest. So assuming we're going to be about the same for that for income. Other income, not expecting anything, and nothing from Epics or Site. So our total revenue or total income is 9,800 for our section. Yeah, and then moving on to our expenses. So we'll do the general funding last because that's kind of a catch-all bucket. So we have nothing for CTC, nothing for PayPal fees, nothing for other expenses, DeVry Online. We don't have anything for DeVry Online. I think that was all moved to DeVry. Actually, I don't have anything for DeVry. Mine is. Okay, we'll get to DeVry in a sec. But I think DeVry Online we're not doing anything with, but DeVry we are. But we'll get to DeVry soon. OSU we don't have anything allocated for. OU we do not as well, and nothing for Zane State. Any questions with those colleges?
Yeah, I think we do. We agreed in the past that we have a general fund for the students, and the students
That's right, yeah.
can request funding from the general fund. So
Yes.
we don't have to specifically put money individually for the student, and they can just use the general fund to request funding from.
Correct. Cool.
I had a question on the PayPal fees. Are you going to do a spring banquet? Like you said, if you are, you're going to end up with probably PayPal fees.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
normally the fees is taken out of the, let's say, registration. Is that correct, Daniel?
Yeah, so it's whatever that event is for. We try to keep it in one bucket so we know the total cost for that event. To be honest, I'm not sure what the PayPal fees was for. This was, I think, a legacy item from probably like 4 or 5 years ago. But wanted to keep it in there just so that we're not losing everything.
well, the November banquet that we had, didn't we have PayPal fees on that?
Yeah, but that was tied to the 100-year banquet.
Yeah.
So we could look at everything together versus classifying it as
Okay.
PayPal
All right.
fees.
Okay, I understand. Never mind. That's fine.
Yep, no worries. Cool. So moving on, for the website, we have $50 allocated for that. Signal processing, or sorry, engineers in medicine and biology, we don't have anything. I don't think we saw any activity as well. Signal processing, the same. Last year for treasurer, we had $100 allocated. So I think the mailbox is going to be about 300. And then there's about $50 or so this past year of postages and like printing for cover letters and everything. So that is what this is for and why it was upped by $250. Any questions with that?
Yeah, Daniel, going back to the EMBS, so yeah, we haven't been active for the last couple of years. I'm trying to get active again this year, and I think our section has been deactivated, so we're in the process of getting that activated again, hopefully having more activities. So if it's, I mean, fine with everybody else, I think it would be okay. I would propose having just another 100 there for 2023 for EMBS, whether it's used or not. I mean, I think it's just a proposal or an ask, I guess.
I second that because Dr. Kashu is really doing some heavy lifting, kind of bringing this back up, and we're working with the the EMBS main, the president and the officers. So that's in the works. So yeah, I'd like to see them kind of reactivated on our spreadsheet on our books as well.
Do we have a feel of what we're looking to plan from a spending standpoint this year?
So in the past, what we've done, we've sponsored events, seminars, and we're pretty much just provided food and pizza, things like that for the bi-weekly or weekly seminars. And then we've also sponsored potential travel reimbursement for EMBS conferences for people who are presenting or students who will be presenting at EMBS. Mainly those people, the recipients were OSU students in the biomedical or in the engineering realm there. So that's what we've used those funds in the past for. It would, so I'm assuming, I'm hoping that's what we try to get again. I know we did mention OSU has their own, pocket, I guess, but nothing's really proposed for them. But that's what I've used it in the past for them many years ago, at least. So.
Yeah, I mean, without knowing too much about travel and what that looks like, it sounds like it's something on the order of, somewhere near $500,000 to $1,000 for what you just mentioned. Is this just one travel or is it multiple travel for?
No, usually we would sponsor one student who had a paper accepted or a presentation accepted at the EMBS conference or related.
So do we just put some budget in there, let's say, 250 or something like that for now, and if we need some extra amount, then you can always request on the meeting.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Excited to see EMBS start up this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so signal processing, nothing here. Oh, sorry, I already went to treasurer. E-Week, keeping the same funding for E-Week. So I think, Helen, that's what you talked about previously. So
That's
still
correct.
good there. Antennas, propagation, did not, or what was not active last year. So I removed the funding here. Do we know if that's going to be the same this year?
I haven't have a contact with them, and I know Dr. Berger and I were talking about maybe getting somebody from that side. I know they still have money in their account. That's correct.
Yeah, I was proposing, and
yeah.
this is what you see over here, is proposing moving that over
Yes.
to our general fund.
Correct. So I think at the moment I just leave it blank until we get a representative from AP MTT. Then I just leave it as zero at the moment.
And then move their funding to the general account or leave the fund? Okay.
Yeah, move it to the general fund. It's reserved for their activities anyway.
Okay. Region 2 meeting, nothing allocated for 2023. SPAC, same thing. DeVry, so this is what we talked about previously. They did have funding allocated and they were active, but they received the funding from the general funding account. Same thing with OSU. Control systems, I don't think that's been active for a little bit, so no funding here. We was active last year. Based on what was spent last year, it seemed like it was more along the lines of 800. So if we is going to have the same level of activity, I think this probably makes a little bit more sense, but wanted to talk through that with everyone.
I think it's okay. And like I said, unless we needed to cut back on some just to make sure we have a zero-based budget. So we did spend a little extra last year for an event that is you know, kind of for the IEEE day. It was poorly attended, but we spent more than we wanted to. So we have to be careful next year to make sure that when we create an event, it's actually get attended well. Otherwise, we just waste resources.
Sure, sure.
Helen, do you think you need $800 or what?
Put it to 500 because when we attend a week conference, normally Region 2 compensate for some of the expenses. Like I think they covered, yeah, they covered for my registration to the week conference.
Okay. Moving on, computer and communications, no activity, section meetings. We did not have anything allocated for this. This is, I'm not sure what our plan is for, general meetings
Howard,
this year.
please. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, not sure what our plan is for general meetings this year, but if we did want to try to meet as a section at some places and have lunch there or some drinks or something, this may be something we want to think through, but didn't know what other folks' thoughts were.
Yes, since with the pandemic kind of easing off, I would like to have at least once a quarter, maybe a face-to-face meeting if we can, especially during the spring and fall. I know the summer is a little bit hard because people are traveling and vacationing, but I really would like to get like a summer event. You know, if we have 20 plus people at least can do a field trip. I've been trying to do a joint event with the Dayton section since that's pretty close. So maybe we can just put maybe $200 in there for now.
Okay.
Or $300, yeah, because I really would like to have at least, if not every quarter, at least, spring and fall,
Sure.
do at least a couple of face-to-face meetings.
Okay, and on that, Helen, is that something we would, so like in this meeting, would we look to schedule what it would look like for like next month or the month after?
Yes, yeah, I think the section meetings is probably including we'll do like a vTools training or something like that. Just going through the tools within IEEE since we have new people or we need to have refresher, like for example, from Concur to Next Gen, or just using the tools that is provided to us. We need to keep up with those. Plus, event-wise, we should try to, do joint events. For example, with if we have to do ethics event or other some of the seminar, we need to always keep in mind to make it joint with societies and other section events. That way we can optimize the attendance and also meeting reporting as everybody. I always stress is that we get more refund when we report meetings, because we do, you know, we have all the societies. If all the societies within our section meet the requirement for meetings, that is an automatic at least close to $2,000 of rebate. So we need to start focusing on making sure we meet the minimum requirement to get rebates.
Kavita has raised her hand.
I just have a question, Helen. You were talking about the ethics thing, right? Is that a committee or something like that? Is there a separate
No,
committee?
ethics. The ethics is a requirement for the PE,
Oh, okay.
for their PE. So that's the reason why in the past the PES, the Power Engineering Society, always have to have like two PDH hours for ethics, because that is
Okay.
part of their PE. So unfortunately, this year we didn't do a lot of PES events, so we need to start looking into those in this year.
Yeah, that
You
will
need
be
to wake
nice
them up again.
actually. I definitely would like to attend if something is there for that. And I also want to check one more thing. See, for students, right? They have professors and others who guide them through writing papers and things like that, right? So for professionals, is there something of that sort? How do we submit something that we want to, some research that we have done and we want to submit it to IEEE papers or something like that? How do we go
Okay.
about doing that?
Yeah, we do have standards committees and papers. Probably Dr. Berger or Dr. Nasher and Chad, since they're in the academia, could comments on that. Can we get that offline,
Yeah,
Kavita?
sure, sure, sure.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Proceed, Daniel.
Yep. So pace, don't have anything allocated here. Is this accurate? Are we thinking we're going to be active this year?
I think according to Ben, yes, but like I said, we'll probably try to get some funding from PACE, and that's always, we always join the PACE with the societies. So sometimes we don't necessarily need to put specific funding for PACE.
Okay, cool. So we'll leave it the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Student general funding, we decided just to combine this with our general funding, so nothing here.
I thought we supposed to allocate like 1,000 for them.
So
That's
they still have 1,000, so there's
okay.
nothing
Okay, that's
changing.
good. All right. No change. You're okay.
Uh, Electron devices, nothing proposed, but they still have 1,600 in their account. Young professionals, 300 is being proposed, and they still have quite a bit in their account as well. Maker X, nothing being proposed, and there's 1,500 in the account.
Yes, that's something we still need to clarify with the coordinator of MakerX, because I think we still have a balance that we need to return to them. I have not been able to get a hold of the new person. It's been 2 years since we participated, because the last year it was kind of late, and they wanted to do individual venue, and I didn't really want to do that. So maybe this year we need to find ways to participate in STEM activities, because part of the money from AEP I would like to allocate to pre-university or undergrad STEM activities. So if any one of you has some kind of it's the idea, later on send me an email. We can start looking into participating into this event. That way, when we make our report to AAP, we have something to show for.
Carl Lee has his hand up.
Hi, Carl.
Hello, how you doing? I'm working with the Maker X, doing a maker this year, but it's a different group of people. It's Bill Ball used to be, but we're supposed to be setting up some planning for something in August. A maker event. So I'll see what's old and get back with you. This year, I finished up some projects last year. This year, I plan on being totally active in controls and hoping to work with the education activities, about 3 or 4 events set up with some other groups. So,
Okay, so we need to talk about the controls because it might have been deactivated. So we need to start looking into those on just just you and I or something.
okay. We're
Okay,
supposed to
so
be
that's
doing
yes.
a,
Yeah, so that's good actually, that if we can get going with the Maker X again.
yes.
Legislative Day, 1700. So
Is
we're
that still
allocating.
okay, Howard? Or it's kind of high, I think, for we did have how many? I think 30 IEEE participated throughout Ohio. Have you heard anything, Howard? I know we have a meeting next week. Do we just keep it for that right now? Did we lose Howard?
No, I think he might not know he's muted.
So I think we can just leave it there for now, Daniel. We have our first meeting next week, so we'll see what is the consensus on whether it's going to be a face-to-face or still online.
Howard's unmuted.
Yeah, it should be, their plan is to do a face-to-face, I think, and that's one of the things that they want to do, but there'll still be the education thing too, and meeting with the legislature. So I believe that's what they're going to try to do. I think last year, we went in with 1,700. We went up from 1,600 to 1,700. I believe the other sponsors were at 1,800. We just happened to come in a little late and said we'll do 1,700, and they took it. So I would leave it where it is right now. I don't know that it's going to go up, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay. So PES proposing 300. Oh, sorry. Yeah, proposing 300 for PES. It's PES. I'm the vice chair for PES. We had a meeting yesterday. We're gonna be a lot more active this coming year, but that's where we stand right now. Meetings and events, 1,200. So we have allocated, that's on top of the 2,200 we already have currently allocated for that. And then I think this is solid state, allocating 500 for this one. So that is the entire budget. Any questions? So lastly, just remind everyone, we have about 9,800 of income coming in, and our expenses, if you total everything that we talked about, is right around 5,700. So that delta, the remainder of that, is going in our general funding. So if there's other, societies or other things we're trying to grow from a technical perspective within our chapter, I think, we're like, from a financial position, we're well positioned. It's just a matter of finding those right opportunities to continue to grow and make an impact in our area.
Okay. I think that sounds good. Yep.
And then as far as our balances, and we'll send this out afterwards, but this also shows you how we're ending with all of our balances. We don't need to go through all of them specifically, but you can see with antennas, for instance, they ended 2022 with 4,200, but we're planning to move all of that over to general funding. And when you go back and look at this later, the difference here is adding in the income that we're already going to assume we have. So we can send this out afterwards, but I think we've gone through everything. So if anyone has any other questions, feel free. Otherwise, I can just send this after the meeting. And I don't know, Helen, if we want to plan for right now to approve it, or if we want to give people a couple days to look through it on their own.
I mean, if you wanted a couple of days to go over the budget, but I do want to make a motion to go ahead and approve the e-week. That way Daniel can send out the check to the committee. So what's the consensus? Any comments on the budget? Do you want to make a motion to approve the budget as presented, or do you want a week to look it over, or a few days to look it over? Any comments?
I had a question about the OSU chapter with the ECE award. Are we doing that this year?
We have not been contacted by the section. I know Dr. Musa was saying that they didn't have it last year. So I'm not sure. Have you heard anything, Paul, on the winter banquet for the undergrad?
Paul, you are muted if you're talking.
All right, I had stepped away. I heard my name and I can run back. I got the headphones on, but I wasn't within microphone to unmute. So I don't know because of the I never penned that letter that we were going to share with OSU as a sidebar thing, but if as we noted in one of our recent meetings, they changed advisors. So I don't know. I have not seen any motion towards running a banquet because they've switched horses. You know, since the advisors changed, it's not clear to me that some of the old repertoire of events that they held will propagate. I think that this guy has a new set of things, and they're going in a different direction. So it's not clear to me that they will.
Yeah, so I think that's answer your question, Carl. We still, I will try to reach out to the undergrad. I know this past couple of years it's been a little bit, spotty, and we do have a good relationship with the graduate student section. So we want to make sure we keep up with our student relation, and actually that's something that I was kind of trying to work on with Mettler Toledo, because we have a dedicated OSU university relation person. So we've been trying to do some joint events with her. But I think at the moment we'll probably just keep an eye on it, and then if the student needed some funding, they're always open to come to us and get request funding through the general fund. So to answer your question, no, we do not have any event or for the banquet.
Yes, I'm in touch with them in another project with STEAM education. I didn't mention anything because I saw the last month's minutes that there was some confusion in leadership. So I was going to wait to talk to Dr. Berger about any contact. So thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. Any comments on how to proceed with the budget?
Yeah, Helen, I recommend Daniel's done a pretty good job laying it out, and we've talked about it. I think we should approve the budget as it is tonight, and we can modify that anytime we need to during the year. So that it just takes, approval to make other changes if we come up we need it.
Okay, so we'll call the motion to approve the budget as presented for
I
2023.
motion that we approve the budget. This is Carl. I motion that we approve the budget as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Carl
so
motioned, Howard second.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so with that, call the budget for 2023 motion carried. Thank you, everyone. And so with that, Daniel will send that out to the ExCom. And like I said, just probably in the February meeting, try to come up with your plan for the year event, because I really would like to optimize the attendance to events. I know there's a big event that Saul has planned, work really hard to get a meeting with Intel. So we want to make sure that event is well attended, to make sure that they understand that, you know, we're a society that could benefit, and we want to make sure to get some of their members also, that we're here to is a society that they can reach out to. So we will, I think, Saul, I think, is Saul online?
No, he is not, but he did send an email earlier.
Yeah, you should read that. I think because he's got the date set for the meeting.
Yes, the date is set. So I think Dr. Berger was stating, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, I've been to Ohio State quite a bit. If the meeting is later in the afternoon, I think it's not that bad for parking. So what do you think? What do you think, Paul?
I mean, it depends. It depends on the audience, the size, the quality. I mean, is this just sort of an end? So I don't know who from Intel's coming. Is if they're a pretty big mucky muck, then you know something like the Longaberger House, Longaberger Alumni House could be pretty good. Uh, but I believe that costs budget. You've been participant with renting Longaberger back when
Yes.
IEEE GSB. Do you know what the costs are associated with that?
It's $1,200, but with the student, if the student rented, I think there's a discount, it's like 50%, but that's still $600. That's still a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can, I mean,
I think it's I know the other option was the New Albany Library. My personal preference would be the library just because OSU traffic and parking, you know, everybody's gonna have to pay for parking unless you're a faculty or a student there. It's not very easy to get on campus depending on the timing. My personal preference would be to go to a public library. It's probably a lot more comfortable, easier to park, but that's just my 2 cents there.
yeah, we've been doing a lot of events at the public library. The New Albany Library is very nice. Also, the Dublin Library is pretty big. And of course, the Columbus, it's the main library is very nice, but of course you have to park, but that's not too expensive. So yeah, I'm not really, you know, New Albany, is that something that most of you are familiar with, or is that difficult to get to? And we had meetings there multiple times. So what's your opinion on those? Maybe because I think Saul needs to make a decision so we can at least do an e-notice early.
I mean, OSU is a nice central location, but although it's central location, just you can spend 30 minutes just on campus trying to find a place to park, depending on the time of day and the construction there. That's the only reason I bring it up. Having a place that's, although it's a little further drive, but easy to park and don't have to worry about that. That
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
my
it's yeah,
preference.
no, Albany is pretty easy, you know, to
Yeah.
get to.
Even
So,
Dublin Library, I think they do have a fantastic library there that was recently renovated, so that's also a nice spot. But yeah,
About the Upper Arlington Library for centrality.
that's actually a great idea. Yeah, Upper Arlington is also a great area.
okay, so maybe we can discuss that with Saul.
It's the second
Yeah.
one there. Tremont. It's a new suggestion. Tremont.
Yeah, that's
Can you
very close to it's very close to OSU campus, and you don't have to worry about the parking issue.
Yeah, it's right next to a park as well.
Which
Oh,
library was that?
that's in the Whetstone Park?
No, Upper Arlington.
No.
Upper Arlington.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay, yeah,
that's the
I've
one.
been there.
You're at the right one.
I thought the New Albany Library was nice, so you had quite a bit of space there.
Well, I was just arguing that the Arlington is central. New Albany.
So
for,
we can
for us on the west side, New Albany is
pretty far, yeah. So I mean, we can look at the availability for the Upper Arlington. So that's we can update Saul on that and look, since we already have the date. So
that's the Miller Park branch. That's a little bit different one. You want the one at on Tremont. Yes, that one. Yes.
the Tremont.
It's on Tremont Road. You see the address there. That's the one you want.
Okay,
the picture
Tremont
you're showing
Road.
is the
Okay.
yeah. That's the new one.
Okay, so I will send Saul an email and see if we can get a date. Yeah, that's a nice library. So okay.
It's all renovated. Yeah, you see they have the big event space there.
Mm-hmm.
Even I've been in, at meetings in that base with the podium there before.
Okay. Yeah. I will check the availability and reserve it. You can always cancel it later. So anything else that anyone wants to discuss? New business? It's otherwise we'll probably call it a day. Any additional new business? We can go back to our regular updates in February. Daniel, are we okay to submit our financials? Did we lose Daniel?
Helen, I would like to volunteer for the educational chair this year, if it's okay.
Okay, let me take a look at that.
I'll take the vice role as well.
Is that currently open? I think
Like it was originally me for last year, but we never really did anything with me doing that. So we never actually officially signed me in.
Well, if it's you, Ian, I'll just vice chair you. I'm working with a lot of Columbus City Schools STEAM programs. I just started a job there as their youth program manager over several sites.
There you go.
so. What are you proposing, Carl?
Well, if Ian was already proposed as the chair, I saw on the minutes that it was open.
It is still kind of open, but I was kind of looking into the role. So,
So I could work as vice chair with you, Ian. You know, we work together on a lot of things anyway.
mhm.
Yes, and there's some things coming up in March dealing with doing on the site.
But
Dealing
remember,
with
Ian, we still need to rebuild our website. We need to get
Yeah,
it
that we
all
need to flip.
done. Yeah, so that's a priority as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't think. Hey, Howard, just a question. Do we need to make a motion for the society appointment, or? I don't remember the process on these on our bylaws. Do you remember, Carl? Do we have to make a motion for the appointments? I think we did
it was previously it was appointed and voted on, but it was appointed by it made a motion. There was a
Okay.
motion made.
All right. Okay. So I will make a motion to, let me see. Did you open something, Ian?
I opened up vTools.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's kind of where the rubber hits the road.
Yes, I think I did see something there about.
It's got Ian. It's got Ian ending at the end of this year, but that can always be changed. Whatever you guys
Correct. So Ian is already there, so I guess we just have to add Carl as a vice chair. So I guess I can make a motion to appoint Carl as vice chair of the education activities committee or society. So anybody wants to make a motion to add Carl to appoint Carl as the vice chair of the education committee?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Howard and
Nasser.
Nasher. Okay. All right. So motion to add Carl as vice chair. Everybody agrees, say aye.
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 Okay, all right. Okay, so Howard made the motion and Nasser second, and everybody agreed. So motion carried to add Carl as the vice chair of the education activities. Right? Anything else?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Helen,
we
this
need
is
to-
Daniel. I will move forward with budget approval and send that over to National. I was on mute earlier.
I mean, for the 2020 financials, we're supposed to submit those by no later than the 15th of February, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But being that we have it approved, we can just go ahead and submit it early.
Okay, great. Yeah, that way we get a 10% what you call that, rebate, extra rebate. All right, great. If there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. A second.
Okay, Paul second. Well, with that, the meeting is adjourned, and thank you, everyone. And by the way, I would like to make you know, just like a big thanks to Howard for the 6 years that he supported us as a secretary. I know he's very, very busy, and he still take the time to be very active with our section. So I wanted to make sure that we recognize Howard for that. And welcome Kavita. I know she has to drop off, but she would need some help from Howard. So I want to make sure that. Thank you, Howard.
Yes, same here, Howard. Thank you for still being around. Everybody's looking good. I mean, sounding good. That's a good thing after going through COVID.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed working on it. So
Right. Well, thank you, everyone, and have a good night. And we'll talk again next month. hopefully start planning a face-to-face meeting in the spring.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.